we really have had a lot of conversations with Consigli during design development to share information, share details, and give them the heads up and say, hey, if we did this, then how does this affect pricing? So we were able to go back to the original porcelain panel design. This is a VE item if we choose to take it to save money and go and use a fiber cement product. We still feel that porcelain is a more sturdy, durable material. It's what we have at the Higgins. I don't know if you recall. When we did the Higgins, we actually had this prefabricated panel system with porcelain. It's slightly different in that those are directly installed with mortar, whereas this is a rain screen sort of a system, but it's a similar material. So that's why that's a negative. It would be a cost savings.
Okay. And item 122 there floating at the top, why is that separated from the list?
I think that's a carryover from the Consigli allowances. Is that correct, Christine?
Correct. This document included some other information, including allowances that were included in our estimate. So this is just sort of where the page broke to show where the alternates start and the allowances ended.
I got you. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Bev, I have a few questions. First, if I can start where Pete left off with the tennis courts. Can you explain again what list this is on?
This list currently, like this slide we're looking at, is actually the list of alternates. And as Christy just explained, that 122 at the top, that is a carryover from a different list of, I know this one we've met a few times with Park and Recreation to discuss what to do, because those tennis courts, the upper ones, they are going to be utilized for parking and staging of construction vehicles, and I don't think any materials will be up there, but those tennis courts are in rough shape as it is. So there is discussion going on what Parks and Recs wants to do actually with that area. And Christy, what was the name of the list that one came off of? If you can remember.
It was allowances. So, in our estimate there, we allocate money for scope that's not fully defined yet, and we call those allowances. And that's just what that list above the alternates represented.
Right. And I know that one of the things on there is, restoring the softball field or baseball field that's right next to the school, restoring the pavement as it is at the school. And those items in particular are going through Park and Rec with their advice. I don't know, did I completely answer your question, Jared?
Well, yeah, I mean, I get the fields that are gonna be compromised with construction, whether it be
Right.
vehicles or personnel, but my understanding is the tennis courts are already compromised. And
They
I
are.
get that we're gonna use it for staging and other things for this project, but I wonder why it's in our budget and not Parks and Rec's budget to restore or repair those tennis courts, since they're already compromised.
It's one of those items that we're working on that whole issue because of I'll be honest, because of the way things are set up in the city right now. It's trying to figure out who is responsible for taking care of those. But because we're going to use it for the project, it's on our line at the moment, because we may be in the best position to be able to help to either restore or definitely to repair. But it's a part of the construction cost. Am I correct, Christy or Vivian or Mike?
Yep. So again, the allowances are for scope items that aren't either fully defined or part of like the general requirements and conditions that we have. So there could be an opportunity to work with Parks Department
Mhm.
on improvements to that. We're happy to have those discussions and engage them in the conversation. But for the purposes of where we are now, we're just trying to identify items and dollars associated with it. So we have included 25,000 to restore and repair the tennis courts within this total project budget that you'd be voting today.
Okay, fair enough. I did have one other question. I think it was a slide or two before this, where there were some items removed from the budget.
Oh, yep. They're not completely removed.
Yeah,
They're,
okay.
Yeah,
So
these items were not exercised at this point within our design development reconciliation. These are just items that are rolling over from schematic design value management log that we eliminated at this phase that are, these are items that we could still potentially take if necessary.
Okay, well, one thing of concern, and I think we saw this at the Higgins, I'm looking at wall tile in the interior, the third line in the interior, where you're eliminating wall tiles within the corridors, I should say.
Yep.
My memory is when the Higgins was constructed, we didn't have wall tiles, and there was damage to the sheetrock or the plastering that happened almost immediately. So I would be very reluctant to remove wall tiles from the corridors in the Welch project for that reason.
Yeah, we also feel we feel the same way. And again, there's no value in value engineering. It's taking things that you want out of the project. Again, we did not need to exercise this. And as you can see, that particular item was rejected at SD for all the same reasons that you're bringing up now.
Okay,
And the only reason we have to have this list is because ultimately the MSBA wants to know next time we go to estimate, if we're over, what are you going to do? And so we're feeling pretty confident based on the numbers that we're at right now that we're going to be right where we need to be. And so again, our hope would be that we don't need to exercise anything on this list.
thank you.
yeah, it's the wording is a bit confusing when you look at it, but that whole discussion about, well, we could use that drywall, that argument was rejected. Basically, we're sticking with the wall tile.
Right.
Yeah, you almost have to read it into the negative. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, I think at this point we can go back to the vote. Christina, thank you, if you could bring that up. So the first thing we're going to take a vote on are the proprietary items. And I will entertain a motion to approve the proprietary list of items as identified. Would anyone like to make that motion?
It's Ryan, Bev, I'll make the motion.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. Okay, and is there a second?
Second,
Thank you, Jared. Okay, I'm going to run through the voting members. So we have a motion, and I'm sorry, I cannot read the full language. I want to read that into the record. Just a second. There we go. Okay. So we have a motion made by Ryan Melville, seconded by Jared Hockman. Motion to approve the proprietary list of items as identified on the list presented today to the school building committee. I'm going to do a roll call. Joe Scanlon.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Josh Vidala,
Yes.
Jared Hockman,
yes.
Jim Hafey, okay, I'll come back to Jim. Ryan Melville,
Yes.
okay. Ed Colbert,
Yes.
Jillian Gonzalez,
Yes.
Beth McGivern,
Yes.
Dan Doucette, oh, sorry, not Dan. Okay, and I'm voting yes as well. Are there any voting members that I did not call?
Pete McGinn?
Oh, Pete, where are you? I apologize, Pete McGinn. Please
Yes.
be- All right, thank you. Is there anyone else on that list? All right, the motion is approved. Now, the second motion, this is to approve the design development submission. And before we take that vote, can I just have one more clarification? Christina, the documents we have, does that design development submission include the reconciled construction cost estimate and the value management log and the project?
What was that last one, Bev?
Oh, I just looked at project schedule. That does not go in. Okay. So if you could just tell us what's going in on the submission, is it basically it is the cost estimate?
Yeah, so the MSBA will receive both of the complete estimates in both CSI and uniformat. They'll have the estimate reconciliation form. There's a cost comparison form, and then there's their budget sheet, which is called the 3011,
Okay.
which most of you have seen before. So those are some of the deliverables. There's a ton of things really that go into it. We're going to provide them with a schedule, updated phasing and logistics plan. Danisco has about, I don't know, 50 deliverables that go in there. And so we're meeting after this. And then ultimately the important part obviously is the budget. And so that's why we need the vote. And then once this is all uploaded, we're going to send this electronically to the MSBA, and it'll also be made available to everybody on this committee.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions on that? All right. We're going to take the vote. Oh, thank you, Christina. Everybody, you may recall seeing this form at our last meeting, and we really did approve that when we submitted it to the city council. Mike Gingras had to do all kinds of preparation on that for the bonding and everything. So you have seen that lengthy document. I assume you're submitting 10 pounds of paper on this submission.
Thank goodness it's electronic. We're going to save about an acre of trees. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions? We're submitting the bottom line to the MSBA with all the supporting numbers and documents, right?
Correct.
There we go. Okay, but we have to dress up the wording. Christina, can you put that motion back up there?
Yeah, so I pulled this up because I had the motion, I had the construction budget in there, not the total project budget number. So I just wanted to make sure that we had the total project budget number up here. So the motion needs to be the approval and submission of the design development package to the MSBA along with the total project budget number of the $29,973,821.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Second by Ryan. All right, we're going to do roll call again, and I'm going to make sure I don't miss anyone this time. Okay, Joe Scanlon.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Vidala. Okay, Jared Hockman,
Yes.
Jim Hafey. Okay, Pete McGinn,
Yes.
Ryan Melville,
Yes.
Ed Colbert,
Yes.
Jillian Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, Beth McGiven,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Is there anyone else? Any voting member that I have not called on? Okay. All right. Then those two votes allow our team to submit all the paperwork and move the project forward one more step. This is great. Okay, do we have one more item?
Yeah, so a couple of things we wanted to walk through as well. So we just wanted to provide a quick update in regards to the construction phasing as well as in the interior of the building. These are documents, you've all seen these phasing layouts and logistic plans. It basically in every SBC meeting that we presented to you in the last couple of months or so. We just wanted to point out that in phase 3B, specifically, is it 3? I'm sorry, at 3.
3A.
Thanks, Christy. And the cafeteria area and the stage itself, Christy, if you just want to go over the small change as far as what was on the schedule before to this
Sure.
one.
Sure. So none of the other phases have changed, but as we refine our plan and refine our schedule, we did. We wanted to indicate to you that we will need to take the area sort of north sooner than in order to facilitate all of the. So that's a slight deviation from what we have shared before. We were requesting to take over that area as early as the April date after April vacation instead of in the summer. But other than that, the cafeteria remains in use as well as the temp servery. It would just be the area directly north so that we can facilitate the installation and construction of that new ramp.
Right, and so everything that's shaded here kind of in the blue is all like online turned over spaces. So ultimately the temp servery area will still be accessible as well as the actual cafeteria itself and then the points of egress throughout the cafeteria. So it's just a minor change, but we just wanted to make sure you were all aware of the schedule and the phasing and logistics that we also will be submitting to the MSBA as part of our submission as well.
Good.
So the last thing we just had on our list was in regards to the construction schedule. We just wanted to provide an update to you as far as where we are within our timeline and what's happening after we submit this DD package. You can see that, we're earmarked to submit to the MSBA by tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday of next week. We did confirm with them that they aren't requiring anything paper copy wise, so we can just submit an electronic link to the MSBA. And so we're going to be submitting that tomorrow. And then following our DD submission, as we get into our construction documents, we're going to have an SBC meeting with you sometime in January. And then I think it would be a good idea for us to schedule another community meeting, possibly towards the end of January, just to provide an update to the community as far as our design development phase, where we stood with our cost estimates and just kind of give an overview of where we are within the project. So I'll work with the executive team to confirm a time frame that works for them, and then we can go ahead and send out that notification to this group and let you all aware of when we're gonna set up that next community meeting. And then
Sorry, just while you're there, so those dates for the SBC 21 and 22 are placeholders right now. I have a feeling they're both going to shift out a couple of weeks. And again, we're just going to work offline with the executive working group, but I think 1/6 is probably too soon. To me, it feels like it's going to be better towards the end of the month. So again, we'll reach out and confirm those dates.
Yeah, and I think maybe the same week that we have a community meeting, we also have an SBC meeting. So I'm guessing probably towards the end of January, I'll reach out to the team and figure out a date that works well for everyone. Typically, we scheduled them on Mondays, which seem to work for the city very well. So we'll reach out some dates and then confirm with you all.
Okay.
Following those SBC meetings, we do have some additional scope meetings with fire and police and some additional FF&E meetings that we'll continually scheduling with our working groups. For those that are involved, we'll get your schedules to confirm when we'll have those meetings after the new year. And then we have kind of our early release packages scattered throughout kind of the construction documents, as you can see on the schedule for our early release package number 1 and also for our early release package number 2. Currently, we are in the pre-qualification process still for the trade contractors. And we're working with our subcommittee working group right now on sending out that request for qualifications by December 22nd. And for the interest forms and statements of qualifications due by January 19th. So it'll be nice following when those statement of qualifications are due to provide this SBC with an update as far as all of those interested firms or trade contractors and kind of go over with you who we can expect bids from as well.
Mhm.
So that's an ongoing process, just so that this SBC is aware until finally we do receive bids for those early release packages as well sometime in March.
Very good. Are there any questions?
Christine, I'm sorry, Bev, to interrupt. I just also wanted to let folks know that we've submitted the notice of intent package to the Conservation Commission a week ago. So we should be on the agenda for their January 12th hearing.
Thanks, Vivian. There we go. Okay. Oh, I see it right here, January 12th.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Is there anything else on the schedule?
Just to throw in history here. I had on my desk the first meeting that the MSBA had to put us into the core, and that was December 12th of 2018. So we're at the 3-year level now, and we don't have a shovel turned or a wall broken or anything on the project. So just to put into context the MSBA process, which we've fast tracked to the extent possible, they gave us some benefit of scheduling already, but we're at 3 years practically to the day today. So that's my historical hat. Thank you.
And Dan, to make it really official, it's on Facebook because a memory of mine from that meeting popped up. I had taken a photograph at MSBA in that great big meeting. And when it popped up, I couldn't believe it. So I posted it, and a lot of people have commented on it. And, I explained, 3 years, this is measure twice, cut once. All of this work is being done so that the last day of school this year, they're ready to roll. But it really was amazing to think of that, of all that's gone on in the 3 years. So I'm backing you up, Dan. Your historical memory is absolutely on point, because once it's on Facebook, it's official, And actually, I want to thank everybody, because for 3 years, we have been working on this, and of course, before that. So it is a long process, and your efforts are much appreciated. Is there anything else anyone has? Okay, I just want to say one thing. I think it's great to have another community meeting at the beginning of the year. I think it's a good time to, bring the public and everyone up to date. And one other suggestion that I have, I know I love the slides and the presentation that we've done. And I was hoping maybe we could take some of those drawings and print them out and hang them up at the Welch School so that the staff could see them, the kids could see them, any visitors in and out of the school could see them. Just a few of the nice ones. I would leave it up to the designers. They are the ones who know best what, people would be looking at. But I think if people can see, the color scheme and, the proposal, and start to get a feel of what everyone is working towards, that might be a lot of fun too. So I will ask for your help on that, Vivian and Jeff. You get those big printers, right, that make really nice copies?
We would be happy to do that, Bev, and we could put them on large foam boards.
Oh,
And we'll just need to coordinate where they can be hung in the school, or if there are easels that we could put them up on, because that's also very effective. Yes, we'll
Okay.
definitely be able to do that.
Oh, thank you. I think that would be, I think everybody would really get excited again.
Definitely.
And it's the right time to do it.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have anything at all? We're heading into the public comment section. Is there anyone from the public that wanted to speak? I have one person on a telephone. It's last four numbers are 5233. And I didn't know if it was a member of our group or if it was someone from the public. Okay. Well, hearing nothing, I guess we'll roll along. Next meetings. We did speak about that. We will set up a meeting in January, and I do think it will be easier to have it a couple weeks later than the first week of January. And we've done in the past, we've had a meeting after the community meeting, so we've been able to get some feedback and be able to give all of you some feedback about what we've heard from public comment during those public meetings. Do Thursdays, never mind, we're going to send out a survey to make sure Thursdays still work for everybody. But if they don't, always let me know if you have suggestions on the meetings, etc. And is there anything else anybody wants to bring in up? Okay, well, I think we can entertain a motion to adjourn, but first I want to wish everybody very, very happy holiday season and all the best in the new year. Hopefully 2022 is going to be a wonderful year for everyone.
Thank you. I
Thank
second that.
you.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, and to you too.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the new year. See you
That's
next year.
See you next year.
Thank
Take
you,
care,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Great day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.